Hi guys, welcome back to my bench today. I think I'll just tie a simple maribou jig for you guys maybe that are just starting out. That's one of the most common jigs there is. So we got the jig in the vise here already ready to go. This is a 1/8 inch jig head. You can use whatever color you want in my vise. And first thing we need to do is thread our bobbin. We're going to use, I'm out of chartreuse thread. Y'all have to bear with me. I'm sorry. We're going to use some white thread. I'm going to show you how to thread a bobbin. I'm going to try to show you how to thread a bobbin. The easiest way to do it is by using a bobbin threader. It's kind of like your grandma's old needle threaders. It's just a real fine wire, if I can get that to focus. Real fine wire that is hollow, that is you stick it through, and then we'll stick the thread in the middle and pull it back through. Now you can stick the thread in there by hand and just kind of use suction power to pull it up through, but we're going to go ahead and use this right down through the middle. This is a ceramic bobbin that we're using today, and it's a little bit harder sometimes to get it through there. I'm going to use my bodkin and just pull this through. I'll try to give you a close up in a second. So what I did is I just put that through the center of that little thing there, okay? See how it's captured it? And I'm going to hold the end and then grab the bobbin and just slowly pull this through. And it's going to feed off of there. Alright, and when you see you got it, go ahead and let go of your thread and pull it through. And you, my friends, have a bobbin that is ready to go. I usually try to match thread to the color of your body. I want to use white. It should be fine, but if you have chartreuse, use it. I bought a roll of chartreuse, what I thought was chartreuse thread, and it turned out to be something else. So my mistake for not paying attention. So we're going to use white today, and we're going to go ahead and just lay down just a good base layer of the white thread. Start at the head, go all the way down. All the way down to just on this side of the tip of that hook point. You hear that little noise right there? That's my thread striking the hook, the point of the hook. You don't want to do that because it will break. So I'm going to work my way back up to the top, all the way to the top of the head. Take your handy dandy scissors and snip that off. Alright, so now what you want to do is begin with your tail, and there's one other thing you're going to need, excuse me. And if you do not have this, it'll be fine, just go ahead and just use your maribou. But we're going to put a little bit of flash on this, just a little bit. I think we'll use some crystal flash. It's one of my favorite kinds of flash. It's crystal flash. It's a little crinkly, almost like corrugated, and it makes it look, gives it that look that to me it looks just like a minnow. So don't need much of this. So find you some 4 or 5 strands. You can use less. You could just kind of double it up on itself. But we're just going to use 4 or 5 strands. About that much. Snip that off. About there. Take those strands and we'll lay them right on top of the jig. Alright, right on top here. Right behind the little head. And we're going to gently, we're going to go around, but we're going to go really, really loose because we don't want to shift the threads. We want to stay right there on top. So once you go around a couple times, just go ahead and carefully pull it tight. That way your threads will stay right on top. And then run this all the way down to the hook point. Because this stuff's a little bit slippery, I'm going to really make sure we do a good job of catching that flash in there. And like I said again, if you don't have flash, you don't have to use it. You can just use straight strung maribou. It'll still be a great jig. This just adds a little bit of flash. I know that's hard to see, but there's just a little bit of flash there. I usually put mine a little longer so that I'm done a little bit later. Alright, so now we got that, we want to get our maribou, our strung maribou ready. It's just going to need to pull out one feather. Sometimes your feathers will slide right out of the thread. Sometimes you might have to snip it. There we go. One feather will make a nice jig, and we're not even going to use this whole feather. We're going to kind of smooth this down, and you're going to want, your tail doesn't need to be a whole lot longer than the back bend of your hook, maybe an inch or so past. So we're going to cut this off right about here. Snip that off. Make sure you keep a good hold. You don't want to let this go. So now this is all individual threads. Lay it right on top, right behind the head. Also make sure you always run this right up behind your head. Right up behind the head. And lay a good consistent layer of thread all the way back. Almost down to the hook point. You just really want to just cover all the feathers, just cover the whole area with thread, so that is good, because this is what keeps your jig from tearing up from all the crappie bites you're going to get. So that's really good. And down, if you really wanted to take out some extra insurance, you could take some clear fingernail polish, and careful not to get your bobber, and just kind of coat those threads. Cut your thread there, or coat your thread, and then just do one more wrap all the way down and all the way back up. This also helps your body to stay. Alright, so let's put our maribou up. I always try to make sure that whenever I get done with it, I go ahead and put it back. That way it doesn't get mixed up or lost. Now we're going to start with our body. We're going to use this green color here. And this is a woolly booger. You see it's a little bit bigger than the medium that I normally use. So we're going to take this, and what we're going to do is we're just going to pull some of the loose pieces out of that to where we can just see a little piece of the inner thread, the inner string, inner yarn, just like that. And then we're going to take that, place it right on the top of the head, right behind the head on the collar, and go around loosely, and then wrap right to the point, to the same point that we always go for, all the way back almost to the point of the hook. I do like to have a little bit of a longer body. I think it makes a better looking jig. So once we get that wrapped, we're just going to take this and wrap it around. If you want a fatter body, you kind of want to overlap it. If you want a thinner body, you kind of want to just put it side by side. This is a pretty thick chenille, so we're going to just go side by side. That is a sharp looking jig. right up to the head to give it that nice full look. Right there. Maybe one too much. Right about there. You're going to take this around a couple times. Then bring this over. Capture, make sure you're capturing that. Pull it tight. You could go around about 3 times to make sure that that's good and captured. Take your scissors. Make sure you snip that. Not snipping your thread, just snipping the chenille as close as you can. Back where it belongs. And this jig is just about finished. Now, we need our whip finisher. This is a whip finisher. This is the style that I use. Your style might be a little bit different. If you need some good tips on how to use this, there's some great videos on YouTube. Do a much better job than I can of explaining how it works. But basically, we're just going to pull out some thread and we're going to lay it flat on the thread. And we're going to come around. We're just going to hook it. Hook it around the hook, and then we're just going to come around the little bend in the back there. We're going to pull it up until it makes a V. It's going to make like the letter, or the number 4. Your bobbin is back here. You're holding tension. A little bit of tension, not much, because you want to be able to feed out the thread. And so you're going to go around once, and you're going to kind of move this up so it doesn't get in the way, doesn't get twisted. And then bring it back to where you had it before, and you're just going to capture this. So we're going to go around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You could do 3, 4, however many you want. I do 6, sometimes 7. So I'm going to snug that down. And what I did is I just leaned it up like this until it fell off the back notch, and then just slowly pulled it with the bobbin hand and slipped this out. Alright, so you just kind of want to tighten that up and clip that right near the head. Right there. Alright. So we're just about done. We only have one thing left to do. Now at this step you can use fly head cement. I'm going to tell you, I bought this. This is some pretty... Well, there's some warnings on the bottle that kind of scared me a little bit. So, but if you want to use head cement, feel free. Just be very careful. Keep your hands clean. I just feel that I can get just as good a result from just plain clear fingernail polish. And if you get it on your fingers, you don't have to worry about it falling off. We just want to get a little dab and just coat that knot right in there, right there. Now, if you're using store-bought jig heads, you might want to just take this and put a little coat over the jig to give it a little bit of extra durability and give it a little bit of shine. My jigs are powder coated. They're actually pretty tough. But we'll go ahead and give it a coat, and that is it, folks. So you have yourself a maribou, a chartreuse maribou jig, and you can make this jig yours. You could change it. You can make it longer. You can make it shorter. You can make it smaller. You can make it bigger. Whatever you want to do, but this is your basic maribou jig. Good looking little jig there, and yours will probably look even better. If you want to, you can trim some of that excess flash off to where it's kind of the edge of the tail. Good looking jig. Well, once again, guys, thanks for watching. God bless, and happy fishing.